just having some fun, testing our equipment, and talking about some video games. So we have Mr. Gaskins, and we have Lyric, and then we have me, Kane, and we have Peyton on soundboard.
Asa.
So Lyric, if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
All right. Well,
Don't say too much.
all right. My name is Lyric Thyre. I am a sophomore at this high school, and we're doing a podcast for AV production right now. Right now, we're just discussing little nitbits of information about some games, some video games that we've played, and yeah, that's about it, really.
Mr. Gaskins, if you want to introduce yourself.
Well, I'd like to think that I really need no introduction, but since you ask, my name is Mr. Gaskins, media teacher here at Southside High School, and I'm pretty much just along for the ride on this one. Like you said in the introduction, we're just going to talk some video games, test out our new podcast equipment, and certainly thank anybody that's tuning in for this debut episode.
And lastly, Peyton, soundboard.
As I was going to say, needless for an introduction, but my name's Peyton Wimberly, and we're testing our equipment today, just talking about games and etc.
All right, so we recently got some time to play Super Smash Bros. And I was gonna ask you, Mr. Gaskins, how was your first time playing Super Smash?
I thought it really went well. I was surprised that my first time out of the gate, I was able to beat 3 out of the 4 people in this room. I was quite surprised. Why are you shaking your head?
We'll we'll let you believe that one if you want it. Is there anything you want to say about the game? Anything you thought was interesting?
Yeah, I mean, just as an old guy like me who was one of the first people on this block to get the original Super Nintendo, I was a big original Mario Brothers fan. So getting to play as Mario was fun. But I'll be honest with you, I had absolutely no idea what in the heck I was doing. I was pretty much just jumping up and down the whole time and throwing fireballs. That was pretty much my only move.
Do you have any old characters that you think you would like to see join Smash? Besides Mario and all them?
Yeah, I would say just a lot of the original Nintendo games. The guy from Castlevania, I don't know if he has a name. Some of the guys from the original Tecmo Bowl. Everybody's all into Madden now, but it really all started with Tecmo Bowl. Don't know if y'all are familiar with that game. But all you had to do is take your quarterback all the way back in the end zone and hit the pass button. Touchdown 99.9% of the time. So I would just really like to see some of the original Nintendo characters.
And Lyric, you also played with us. How was your experience, even though I'm pretty sure you've already played Super Smash?
I've only played Super Smash a handful of times, so when I got the chance to go up there and play it was fun. Wasn't expecting to win, but I guess,
Trying to say that we're trash?
No, I'm not trying to say that you're trash. I mean, are you trying to say that you're trash?
I'm not trash. I was Samus. I beat all y'all.
I beat you first time.
Peyton, is there anything because you had the weird controller. You had a weird time.
It was a little harder than usual playing on something that kind of deducted my ability to play, but I was still beating y'all constantly, which was very nice to see.
Oh, really? All right. Well, I played as Samus, and I had a pretty good time because usually I play as Snake from Metal Gear, but we didn't have that character unlocked, so I went as Samus. And also, Mr. Gaskins, do you enjoy video games? Do you enjoy playing them? Or
Yeah, so the truth is, after my Nintendo run in the mid to late 80s, perhaps early 90s, didn't really play a whole lot of video games until Madden came along. Played a lot of Madden 2000 through about 2006 or 7, and I would still contend that I would beat every single one of y'all the year that, I forget what year it was. It was the year that it was either Terrell Owens or Donovan McNabb was on the cover. But truthfully, I have not played a lot of video games since then. It's amazing how much the technology has changed, and it just sort of seems, honestly, overwhelming.
do Do you have any video games that you played back then that you would like to see come back, like as a second game or maybe third?
Yeah, so I would say probably Street Fighter was a good one, although I think that might have been more Super Nintendo than, I can't remember if that was on the, but I'll tell you the one, Double Dragon. You ever heard of that one?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, Double Dragon. I feel like, you know,
You mind explaining what it was about?
yeah, so basically it was kind of like Street Fighter, but you had these two guys, and they were basically ninjas, and you would just kind of go through levels, and you know what I'm
I
talking about?
have that. I played it a while back. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That game was pretty fun. I don't know. I played it with my dad. He brought his Sega CD home the other day, so I figured I'd try that out, and it was pretty nice.
Now let me ask y'all that. What is and I'm so out of touch with video games, what is the best system that, like, are there 2 or 3 main gaming systems right now? What are, like, say, the big 2 or 3?
Xbox, PlayStation,
PC.
Nintendo, and PC. PC beats
PC would be arguably the best
If,
option to
like,
play video
in
games
specific,
most costly though.
you would have to take it like for PlayStation and whatnot like that, like console wise, the PS5 or the Xbox Series
X and S.
X and S, which are the newest ones, would be the best, of course. But then you've got like your PCs and all that, and that would be your. It just depends on what you like to play or how you like to play games, freights and.
Because I'm an Xbox person. I like Xbox because it was the first. It wasn't the first system I had, but it was the first big system I had. Because my first system was the Wii, and I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 on that. And the Wii was from Nintendo, and it was a slimmer, more stand-up console. And then when I got the Xbox, it was big and bulky, and it had a bunch of power to it. What was actually, Mr. Gaskins, what was your first system?
Okay, so my first system would have been the original Nintendo, and it would have been back when it first came out, and it was my birthday. And I remember my dad took me, I believe it was Circuit City in Memphis, and I was going to get, I think it was a 4-head VCR. I don't know if 4-head VCRs, that probably doesn't mean anything to y'all these days, but that was really high tech back then. And for whatever reason, I saw the Nintendo and was like, hey, Dad, can I get a Nintendo? And he said, sure. And so I remember coming home, unboxing it, playing Mario Brothers, but also Duck Hunt. I don't know if y'all have ever played that. Duck Hunt was a lot of fun.
Isn't Duck Hunt the one with the dog is also in it too?
It is, and it comes with a little toy. I guess it's got a laser or something. It's sort of the toy gun, and you shoot the ducks, and then the little dog goes out and gets them and pops up, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's something you should try. They made a horror game about that.
What's that like? I'm interested in that.
It's like
It's a
done
VR
season-
game,
VR.
virtual reality, and it's I've seen people play it. I haven't played it, and it gets weird during the later stages. Because at first it plays like normal Duck Hunt. Besides, it's in VR. You go and you get rid of the ducks, and the dog catches them, and then you realize,
There's deeper lore
yeah,
to the dog and to the story.
yeah,
And
missing children. Stuff just gets deep and dark quickly.
real quick.
And it's from a classic game. They have a lot of horror stories about different things, but they even got some with Mario, but none of them are like canon or anything. Duck Hunt, that was actually a game made by, I think, Capcom, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Capcom.
Capcom, yeah.
They made a lot of those like older like first person shooters type deal where you just killed things and they were retrieved, or I don't know, like the
Devil
made
May
me
Cry
think,
series.
yeah, or it makes me think of the old Call of Duties on the Wii back before then when it had like the gun controller you
that.
could have, yeah.
I had that. It was
Pretty
it was the mold of a rifle, and you stuck the controller like there and there, and it was you actually had to aim at the screen.
That was probably the first, like, most hands-on game that I think I've ever seen made. Like, back then, that was really ahead of its time because it had really good graphics and everything for that. And then for you to be able to move and control and have to actually aim down the sight of your weapon to play the game and to just survive, that's what you had to do, was to be in the game practically, which was a different turn on things, in my opinion. It's pretty cool.
And Mr. Gaskins, have you ever tried virtual reality, VR?
Be honest with you, I don't believe that I have. Would you recommend it?
I would. I would recommend, at first I'd recommend some slower games, because if you have that headset on and it's your first time and you're playing something super fast, then you might get a little dizzy. So if you do VR, then you need to ease into it.
And I would definitely keep track of your phobias. Do not go into a game that is going to terrify you because they are very realistic in some of them. And two, like there's height simulators and all these different horror games that you wouldn't even know were horror games until you got them. So
Speaking of horror games, what upcoming horror games are you excited for, Kane?
Right now, I'm pretty excited for. I'm not really excited for anything new right now, but I'm excited for something that there's not a lot of information on it, and to me, it was one of the most mysterious horror games I've ever seen. It's called PT, and it was a playable teaser for a game called Silent Hill. And that game, yeah, PT did get canceled a long time ago, but I'm excited for it because I think maybe sometime we'll be able to get a Silent Hill to come back alive and get PT on it again.
I got some early release dates, which I don't necessarily know the exact time anymore, but there's supposed to be horror games, like there's supposed to be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game coming out in a year or two, something like that, and it's supposed to be one of the best of its time. It's going to take over like Dead by Daylight and all those now that are popular games. It's liable to be less as popular later.
And Mr. Gaskins, do you have any what is your favorite kind of genre of game? If you were to go back into gaming right now, what do you think you would first touch?
Yeah, I really like the sports games, but also, and I don't know what term it would be, but I guess the shooter games. One of my favorite on the original Nintendo was Contra. That was a lot of fun. So I would say the shooter games and also the sports games would probably be my two favorites.
All right, and then have you ever? Because I remember I had it on the DS, and it was an older game. Have you ever played Chrono Trigger?
Don't believe I have. No.
Oh, it's an older game. It was in like the area with Mario and all them. But I was just wondering because I used to have it. And Lyric, are there any games you're excited for? Since you asked me.
Nothing's really caught my eye yet. The only really thing that I glanced at was Resident Evil 9. So.
Oh yeah, the Resident Evil series is fun. I really like that series.
You ever play Resident Evil, Mr. Gaskins?
Have not. Now, I have heard of that one. Now, a lot of the games I've been throwing at me, to be honest with you, I hadn't heard of, but I have heard of Resident Evil.
Have you seen anything on it? Trailers, anything?
I'm sure that I have. To be honest with you, I don't recall them off the top of my head. I remember it looked pretty cool, though. Looked pretty cool.
Are those the kind of games you're interested in, like zombies and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I like the zombie games. Something, I guess, I'm not a huge horror fan, so maybe, something within reason, you know what I mean? Sort of the shooter games, but something within reason that's not too scary. And, of course, now I got a 4-year-old, so, of course, I need to be, cognizant of, him running around the living room while I was playing whatever it was.
Lyric, is there anything you want to ask?
None right now.
Well, I think that is all the time that we have for today. And thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.